This is the way the world ends. When I heard that, I was like, who speaks German in this movie? Then I forgot about the scientists. You know, this is the way
Oh,
the
okay.
world ends. So, what do you think of this movie? First time watching it? Second time?
Oh no, I've watched it several times. It's the first time I watched it in years, though.
Oh, okay. What do you
Yeah, I
think
mean,
of
I
it?
saw it a long time
Yeah,
ago.
I did too,
When
and
I
I
think about it now,
I haven't
I mean,
seen it
I've
in a
been,
long time.
eh, it's a movie. It's a
Okay.
Hollywood movie. I know that. I mean, it's one hell of a Moby video.
Because
I mean, come on, that was the only good thing about this movie was the music,
the
man,
music, right? The music was
mainly.
pretty good.
I mean, a lot of people try to figure out this movie. There's nothing to figure out. You
No.
know what this movie kind of reminds me of, but it's still better than it?
Oh.
Mulholland Falls.
Oh,
It's
I'm so
Mulholland
glad you
Falls.
brought that up because that was the same feel that I got from this movie. Because okay, let me bring
Was
this
it
back.
okay? Good.
Because a long time ago when I watched this, okay, I felt like okay, it feels like something happens at the end, but nothing really happened. Okay, that's how the last thing I
Yeah.
remember
Oh, yeah.
watching
Well,
this
that's the
movie.
thing. Nothing really happened. It's just a movie. It's the past time. But I mean, like, let's say, as far as actors, there's a lot of actors I know in it. I
Yeah, there's a
like a
lot of
lot of the
big
actors
cast.
in this. So I even liked it because John Lovitz is a police officer. He
Oh,
kills those people. I was like, what? John Lovitz? That's awesome.
so
John Larroquette's in this movie, which I haven't seen in a long time.
wait, who?
John
Which
Larroquette,
John Lockett?
Night Court.
Oh, the guy, the the, the father for Mandy Moore, right? No, no, no. The other
Well,
guy,
no,
one of the advisor guys. Yes,
he's the
yes,
visor.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
he's the
advisor. Yep,
visor. Yeah,
yeah, from
I
Night
just
Court.
saw Night Court.
Yep, and
Okay.
like
Oh,
it
he
is a
was
big
in Star Trek
cast.
3. He was in Star Trek 3. He was actually the only Klingon that didn't get killed. He was
Oh,
the officer on the deck when Captain Kirk gets on there and takes over the ship. So he
yes.
died dishonorably.
So I want to talk about the actors first.
He
So
probably had to kill himself later.
you
So
talk about John Lovitz, right? And I also like that Sherry O'Terry's in it, Amy
yeah,
Poehler.
Sherry to
Like
okay.
they were
Oh, they had a
actually
lot of
in a
actors.
role that's not a comedic role in this movie, which I thought was really
Yeah,
interesting, and I
yeah.
like that a lot.
Well,
You
they
know?
gave that's the thing. The director of this got a lot of people that normally won't do a certain type of role, and he
Yes,
gave them that role. Like
yes.
you'll never see John Lovitz as a racist cop.
Or that kind of intensity that he showed in his character in
Yeah, I
this
wouldn't even
movie.
say it was a racist cop. He was just kind of a yeah, because it's like, dude, this guy, I wouldn't want to mess with this guy. I'm not going to this house with this
Yep.
guy. And of course, the two other actors are like, yeah, this is not cool.
Yeah. So besides the comedic part, right? Like Dwayne Johnson also plays in this role is something that
Oh
we
yeah.
don't see him in often or at all actually.
Also, a Stifler,
Stifler, yep.
which I actually like. I like that. I like the actor.
Oh, Sean William Scott, yeah.
Yeah, I actually think the guy has not gotten a lot of good roles.
Oh yeah, he does.
I think because he's typecast. He's typecast as Stifler, like I
Yep.
just said. I call him Stifler. Everybody knows it's Stifler. That's Stifler. Nobody knows him. Nobody knows him any other way.
Yeah, no one remembers him from was it no not Bench Warmers. I can't
Everybody, man.
remember. Like he has a lot of movies. I just don't remember a lot of them.
Well, yeah, no, but I remembers all this other stuff.
Yep.
But he was in another movie with The Rock.
Oh, that's right, Walking Tall. Or is it the
Yeah.
Rundown?
No, it wasn't walking. It's a rundown.
It's a
It's a rundown,
Rundown.
dude.
That's
It's a
right.
rundown.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a rundown.
No, this
Yeah, it
movie
had
was very good. Even
Rosario Dawson in it too.
like one of the things I
It was
love.
okay. I'm not gonna say it's good. Oh, it wasn't that great. It's
No,
actually just kind of
it's when I watch it
it's a
again,
movie.
I don't
It's like
know.
I don't know. It's let me put it this way. It's very stylish looking.
Oh, it's
It's
very
a
stylish
very
looking.
good movie.
For
It's
the
a very
budget
good
it
looking
had,
movie. They had
it looked
it,
really well.
it had lots of good shots in it. The one thing though that did bother me about it was the guy that was trying to be the president.
Yes. The
Bobby,
yeah,
whatever his name is,
the
Bobby, so
father
blah
for
blah blah.
Mandy
Him
Moore,
and his
right? Yeah.
wife, him, yeah, Mandy Moore's parents. They're both. You hear them talk? They're supposed to be from Texas, okay?
That's why I
Where
figured.
do they sound like they came from to you? No, I didn't figure that. I was like, where in the South are they supposed to be from? And
Um,
then it's like, oh, they're from Texas. I was like, since when do we sound like we're from the deep South?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I mean, a
no,
lot
hold
of
on. Before
movies.
you hold
This
on,
is
hold
like
on.
this is
Before you
typical
get on,
Hollywood.
before you go on with that.
Oh, I'm gonna get mad about it.
No, no, no. I know you're gonna get mad. Before you go on it again, I'm gonna
Okay,
tell you something,
I'm not
Shane.
really gonna get
This
mad.
is
All
Hollywood.
right.
This is what they think. I talked about
Well,
this before.
this
It's
is.
just
I know. Well, that's my
production.
point.
Okay, like
This is my
they
point.
think that's how they talk. I told you about not just from Texas. When I hear another Chinese guy speak Chinese on any movie, unless they're from Hong Kong, right? And I'm like, they did their best. I mean, they probably don't know. And then that guy say he speak Cantonese, and that's really it. I'm like, well, I guess he speak Cantonese, but he sounds like he's born here.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. All I got to say is for all those people from California moving to Texas, surprise, we don't sound like that.
And also, I didn't even think that they were from Texas. Like the
Well, I
husband
didn't
and
know
wife.
that, but they say eventually says he's a senator from Texas in the
Oh,
deal.
okay. But I was going like one of the
Oh
notes.
yeah, most of the movie I thought he was from the South, but then they said that, and I was like, okay,
Well, south of
you don't sound
LA.
anything
I
like
mean,
George
south of
Bush.
California. So one of the things I want to put
But
right, the
anyhow,
first thing I saw, it happened in Abilene, Texas,
yeah, I know,
and
that's what
then
I saw when I first saw the movie. I
Justin
was like, when I
Timberlake's
first saw the movie a long time
character,
ago, I was like,
Justin Timberlake's character is named Pilot Abilene.
yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
I thought that was
sense.
very cool. You know, it's very close to home for some of us, and I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, like that the nuclear thing happened in Abilene and then El Paso. You know, like how much more Texas can
Yeah,
you get in those two cities? I guess.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. Abilene's just right up the road from me, so
Yep.
I would have saw it.
And one of the
I would have
comments
saw it.
I want to make, like from 2000 to 2008, right? Like '05 is when this fictional event happened in this movie. But then by '08,
Yeah,
they already had that all set up, right? In real life, it
yeah,
will probably take longer than 3 years to set up. It's like a whole process. But I love it for like for
yeah.
cinematic
Well, this
purposes
is another one of those movies.
like
It's
that.
another one of those movies where it's supposed to be in the future, but the future of this movie is already come and gone. You know,
Yeah, like I guess
you just
I
think
try to.
because it just makes it a little silly to me. I was like,
Well, for me, right, I try to deprive myself from that kind of thought. Like, hey, this is a future, not our future. It's their future. That's why I
yeah,
figure like
yeah.
it's the Back to the Future 2 thing. They're like, oh, we should be in flying cars. Like, you're a freaking idiot. If you talk like that, you're a freaking idiot. Or we don't freeze prisoners either, but we only reference Back to the Future and not Demolition Man and not Judge Dredd and
Oh,
nothing else, just Back to the Future.
well, what do you mean, Judge Dredd? Judge Dredd's still in the future.
I know, but then we don't reference those kind of things in the technology in our time. But people always want to talk about flying cars, which we already have. Thank you.
Because a lot of people apparently want to fly in cars so that way they can crash into your house like
I
a
guess
stupid
they
idiot.
do, But hey, you know what?
I
I
guess a lot of
don't
people seem.
associate
I mean,
myself
come
with
on.
that.
A lot of people think they can handle flying cars. I mean, most people can't even like follow simple rules like not eat paper wrappers and stuff. So
Or not eat
I
Tide
saw that
Pods.
on that. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Oh yeah, Tide Pods? Let's eat Tide Pods. Or other stupid things that people say. Hey, let's do this. Let's see if you can suck sugar down up your nose. I mean, oh, like I also like it. Kristen Dow saying scientists just realized the future is far more futuristic than ever
That
originally thought it was going to
I
be.
guess that was a podcast. I mean, talk shows are probably before like just called podcasts now because it's just. I thought some
Yeah.
of the stuff they said is kind of stupid.
What she wanted to, yeah, but what do you expect from a bunch of porn stars?
It's-
And I'm not
it
saying
is
porn
so
stars are
funny.
stupid, but it's generally thought that they are because look,
I just
this is
wanna.
what you're going to do.
I just want to throw this out there. I think this movie, right? I never had such a hard crush on Sherry O'Terry, except her in this role.
Really?
Yeah, like I find her in
I
that
still
movie
don't have a,
very attractive, but like in her SNL
really?
stuff, like But this one, she does something for me in this movie. I don't know what it was, but I like it.
Yeah. What's, yeah, I like it when she did the cheerleader ones on SNL. Remember
Oh, with Will
with Will
Ferrell,
Ferrell?
yes.
Especially when they're at the what are they at the water? Where they swim meet? You know, they're doing that taco burrito.
Yes.
Ooh, what's that in your speedo? You got trouble.
And
Your speedo, you got trouble.
and you recognize Kevin Smith, right, in this movie, because it still
Oh yeah. Well,
sounds
not
like
not
him,
right
but
at
then-
first.
Oh, not right at
Not
first.
right
but
at first.
Oh, not the
The
first
first,
part when they were
but
doing the standoff.
when you see him, he starts talking. I'm like, I
Yeah.
know this guy.
Once he starts
It's like,
talking, then you're
who
like,
is
oh,
he?
that's Kevin Smith.
I was like, yeah,
But
but
I
at
don't
first,
understand why
well,
they put
no,
him in
well,
heavy
no, so,
makeup.
no. When you see his face, I kind of like I've seen
Oh,
this guy
yeah,
somewhere. Where have I seen this guy?
yeah. It's and when he starts
But
talking,
yeah,
yeah. But that was
yeah. But
before
basically,
he lost
the
all that
movie
weight.
it's this. It's just one of those movies where this guy, the director's, this is to show you this director was doing really good, and he's pretty good. Hollywood thought a lot of him because if you could just come up with a bunch of random ideas, throw it all together, write some crazy lines and stuff, and then they go, "Hey, let's make a movie with that." And they go, "What's the movie about?" It don't mean anything. I mean, it has a beginning and an ending, and it's just a bunch of characters in their wild things. I mean, there's actually a lot of movies like this. Go could be. Remember you ever seen the movie Go?
Oh, a long time ago. Oh, a long time ago. I
Go
don't.
is kind of like
I
this.
think when I
I mean,
saw that movie
the way
Go,
it's in a way
DVD
it's
was
just a
not
bunch of
available yet.
characters. Yeah, it was just a bunch of characters, and it tells you each of the little characters' story. This is what it is. They got all these little
This is it,
characters,
yeah.
and it's just narrated, and it's got a lot of music. Plus, it has a music video. It has the Killers. It,
Yes.
you like the Killers, right?
Yeah. I actually
Well, I
went
mean, it
and
has a lot
watched
of
that
music.
video. Not the Killers, right? But like Southland Tales didn't have a big budget, but Richard Kelly
Yeah,
showed that part to the band, and then they were able to help negotiate with the record company, so that way they could still use the music for a lower fee. Because
yeah.
that was
Well,
really, I guess, in a way, that was
basically,
really important for with the director
and
to have
plus,
that scene in there.
a lot of the lines were from music, were songs, and plus the titles. Because it had three chapters. Each one
Yeah.
was from a music, was a song. One
Oh,
was from the
really?
Pixies. Other
Oh, the
one was from the
Pixies.
Moby, and I can't remember what the other one. But of course, it's got a lot of Moby music. Plus, I like Moby too because Moby was big then.
So, from what you're describing to me right now, right?
I know
This
you like.
movie
I know
have a
you
lot of
love Moby
elements. Oh,
because
I
most
do.
of
Like,
yeah, because you had all his stuff. That's where I got a lot of my
and I'm
Moby.
like, it's there's so many elements combined into one thing, and I feel like this movie was like over 2 hours, right? Like 2 hours and like 24
No, it's too
minutes.
long. It was too
It
long.
was
That is
very
one of my
long. Yeah,
complaints.
yep, 2 hours and
It was
24
too
minutes.
long. They could have edited. They could have edited a lot of that crap out and still had a really good movie.
It's just that I can't even consider this as like, oh, is it a good movie? Like, I don't know. I because
You
I
know,
don't know your
Eli
opinion of
Roth.
movies.
Eli Roth was in this movie.
Eli Roth. Oh, he was he?
Yeah, he gets shot on the toilet. It's one of those guys where they turn the pistol sideways. He's sitting there taking a dump. And they shoot him in the head. That's him.
Oh, oh, that was Eli. Oh, that was. Oh, he didn't have any lines.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Jenny
Jenny Garofalo. Yeah, she
Jenny
was.
Garofalo.
Hmm.
She was, but they didn't. She didn't get a big part. She was just at the party at the end of the movie,
Yep.
which is a shame because I like her.
Yeah. Oh.
And one of the actresses that plays a porn star with Christina now,
Yes.
the one that rides in that rides in the
In the
Lamborghini with
Lamborghini.
her and stuff.
Yeah. Who was that? She looks so
Yeah, that other
familiar.
girl. Yeah, because she's been in a lot of movies. She's Kid Rock's younger sister.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's an actress though. She's been in
Oh.
a lot of movies. She's got a lot of TV and stuff. So you've seen
Oh.
her in other stuff.
Yeah, I've
I
probably
think she was
seen her.
even in one of the Herbie Love Bug movies. Well,
Oh,
the
really?
new version
Oh, you
with
know what?
oh
She just looked familiar, but I couldn't place her or things like
oh,
that.
you've seen her in other stuff. Yeah, you've seen her
Ah,
in other stuff.
okay.
So I mean, most of all these actors you've seen, because even the guy that was the bad guy, the main, the no, not I
Who is
can't
the
say the
bad
main
guy?
bad guy, but the guy,
Who's
the
the
bad guy is the
antagonist in this movie?
Baron. He's the Baron.
Ah, yes.
The Baron is the bad guy because the Baron's been playing both sides. He's the one that's running all this stuff. Is putting all the soldiers on drugs and testing them.
Yep.
He's the one that's got this fake energy company. He
The
just comes
fuse-
along. There's supposed to see the thing about the
fusion
movie is there's
coma.
an energy crisis. See, that's the thing about it, though. If you
Yeah.
think about it, it's
Okay,
kind of like
so
Elon
before you go
Musk.
on, right? Before you go on this one, you just brought up so many elements. I forgot there was a bad guy in this movie. There's some kind of alternative energy source, and there's so much music connections. I'm still confused right now, even though I watched this movie. Like it's like every time I watched it, this is the movie. Like I'm really, I like to consider myself a smart person, right? But this
Yeah, there's
movie,
actually.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
You don't have to be. You
you
don't
don't-
really have to be smart for this movie because they
No.
explain the time, all the time, how the energy, everything is the same answer. This is quantum mechanics. So how's quantum mechanics work? Well, with quantum mechanics. Is how quantum mechanics work. And like, oh,
there's
really?
also
Yeah. See, it was
there's also a time travel element in this.
there
Remember
is a time travel
the
element. That's the whole point of the movie. The
oh,
time travel part of the element is actually Boxer Centauro's story, but it's not really his story. It's actually
Sean William
Officer
Scott.
Taggart's
Yeah,
story.
it's Officer
Yeah,
Taggart's
Sean William
story.
Scott's story. Because you think it's his story, you think Boxer's a story, but at the end of the movie, it turns out that he went to the future, so he knows all this stuff, and he wrote a script on it during his amnesia deal with this with what's her name now, Krista now.
Yeah,
He wrote this, but the whole thing is the script's playing out, and of course the people that were trying to figure out they don't want the two of them to touch
yeah,
Boxer Tantero's two characters touch. They get a script, they're like, huh, this is strange. This is what we just did. He wrote it all down.
yeah.
So we need to get him. But for some reason, how were they so stupid they didn't know they needed to go get the guy that they hired to drive him through the deal?
So let me ask
You
you
know,
this: from what I
I guess they
understood,
decided because
from what I understood, the Sean Will Stifler and The Rock went to time travel, right? Because there's
yep,
two
they
of
both
them.
went up because he drove the car.
He drove the car.
He drove Boxer Santos because they decided they needed to put because the bad guys or the Baron and all his German friends decided they needed to send a movie star
Yeah.
through time.
Yep.
But what were they thinking? Like they had to have somebody drive the car, so he drove him through it. So they had the corrections officer or whatever Stifler go through the time
So
deal. So there was two of him.
so the time deal is the reason why when his reflection is a little bit off.
Oh, that's yeah. Well, no, it's the drugs he's on.
Oh,
Because
that's right.
remember they're asking you, do you bleed? Do you bleed, man? Because remember they've been drugging all the soldiers.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
probably
that's
why
right.
he
Because he's a
threw a handgun.
soldier.
Because you got to remember they were both fight. They both fought in him and Pilot Aveline both
Yeah.
fought in Iraq, not in Iraq,
But like at the war, yeah.
and he threw a hand grenade and blew him up, friendly fire. But he's
Yep.
probably because he was on the drugs.
Yes.
So that's the whole story. So really, Pilot Aveline is just a narrator telling part of the story.
Okay. So just from right now, right at this 16-minute, almost 17-minute mark, now I realize, well, Richard Kelly's really good at writing. Because he's writing all the lives of all these people, right? They just happen to collide with each other, but it's not as good
Yeah.
as Snatch. In
Yeah,
Snatch, there's not really
I-
a big main bad guy. Like we see, I can understand why we see the Baron as a
yeah,
bad guy, but
in a
he
way, it
also
depends
has a
if you
story
say-
too.
If you want to say it's not as good as Snatch, you really can't compare it to
No,
Snatch.
I can't compare. Yeah,
Because at the time he wrote it, we were like going, the Gulf War started, 9/11 happened. Plus, the government was making all these new changes that stopped terrorism, but which they were just building a better government to protect the government instead of protecting the people.
yeah. It's how you market
You
it.
got a problem when the government you got a problem when the government's trying to protect itself instead of the people that
Yeah.
make the government. But anyways, that's what he's making, and he made a story around it, and it's more like another movie we did. What do you call it? Doctor Strangelove.
Yes, this movie is compared to Doctor Strange.
It's just a silly look at it. Because all the people say silly lines. All these characters are outlandish, over the top. I mean, they're just silly people. I mean, come on, you gotta lay there eating Cheetos, watching people crap in the bathroom.
So there's
Okay?
I have two favorite lines in
stuff
here.
in her face.
Oh, the Cheetos lady, right? I wrote that down too. That lady's
Yeah.
always eating Cheetos.
And one of your favorite, hey, all I got to say before I'm gonna ruin it. One of your favorite lines better not be, "I'm a pimp and pimps don't
Oh,
commit
that's one of
suicide."
my favorite lines. And the other one is
Oh my god, that's not even the right line.
No, one of my
the real
lines.
song is "Pimps and Pimps Don't Die."
Yeah, pimps don't die. So the other line was right. That's not my favorite line. That's my second one. My top favorite line is from
That's your favorite one.
Sherry O'Terry said to Amy Poehler, like, sometimes a dream can become a nightmare in the turn of a dime. And I was waiting for that. Like, in the whole movie where that line was like, oh, that was actually a really good line. It's reminding me
I
of
also
Taylor
like it.
Swift.
I also like it when she steals that car and runs over that dude on the
Oh,
motorcycle.
man.
You know it's gonna happen because
Yeah.
he drives off and he looks.
Yeah.
He stops, he looks, and then bam, then she backs up over
Before he
Stuck
even
under the
left,
car.
right? When he's like, okay, I'm just gonna get out of here now, and I'm like, dude, if you get out of this effing car, she's gonna kill you. And then she did, because I don't remember that part. She ran him over with a car.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it did make sense. It's
Okay.
when Highlander kidnapped Stifler.
Yes.
Why? Don't
I
make sense.
yeah, I don't understand that
And,
either.
and you know what also reminds me of, because you got that kid. That kid's like, "Yo, dog." You know, the kid keeps saying, hey, dog," and they
Yeah,
still
yeah.
he's like that rich kid. It's funny. He's standing on an ice cream truck
Shooting at a
with a
bazooka,
with a
right?
rocket
Yeah, the
launcher.
rocket launcher,
Yeah, rocket
the heat
launcher. He has
sinking
a rocket
thing.
launcher, and it flies up in the air to go even with the airship. Because if anybody knows airships, we don't see airships anymore because they ended badly.
Yeah.
Because the Hindenburg,
Yep, I
which
do.
was a
Yeah, you
German
told me about
airship,
that. Yep.
burned and killed all those people. Anyways, he flat out. I was thinking, is this Grand Theft Auto? Because that's what it looks like. But I did
Oh,
like the. I like the thing. I do like that where they. It doesn't really mean anything, but I do like it, and it may mean something to the director. I didn't get any out of it, but
okay.
when at the end of the movie when they're in that they're on the airship, and you got the all the dancers come out,
Yeah.
and then of course
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
got
The
The Rock
routine,
gets on
whatever
the
they were
stage
running.
and
Yeah.
dances, and then the two girls. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Plus the music was cool. Maybe the music was cool. The
And
only
the
reason I
music
was
is
like,
cool.
wow,
Yeah, I
this is
like that
awesome.
too.
And another scene that's really cool is I like the shot where the two cops where he's with the Rock in his car.
Yeah.
Stiffer and the Rock's in the car. And you got Levitz pull up. That shot is cool. And then they
Yes.
got hard, and then they're going through the trees, and that music's playing. I was like, this is
Yeah.
awesome,
It's the
dude.
music that's really good. Like, the
The
music is what
music
makes me
is
want
what
to watch this movie again. Like, I could have this playing in the
the
background.
music's. Oh, I used to watch this movie several times. When I first saw it, I watched it several times, and I was like, the movie
Why?
wasn't all that awesome.
Oh,
It
because of
was
the
just the
music, right?
music
Yeah, it's
and
a
the scene,
soundtrack.
and
Yeah.
it was a good looking movie.
Oh, it's a good looking movie. Like, from the budget that he had, and then you know what? This movie with I said it with an accent. It should be considered a success because the budget was 17 million, but it made
Yeah,
374 million in the box office.
yeah. Well,
Maybe
like I
because it
say,
was a big cast though.
the movie's gonna, whether you like this movie or not. You better not go into this movie thinking, "Oh, I got to figure something out." Because this movie, you don't have to use your will, you have to use any brain cells. I mean, you're gonna know pretty soon,
I think it's the
pretty quick,
opposite of
that
what you said.
Stifler
Like,
is not. Yeah,
I
Stifler's
used too
not his
many
twin
brain
brother. You're gonna
cells.
know they're the same people. Yeah, you're gonna know Stifler pretty quick. It's not It's not his brother. They're the same person.
They're the same
Especially when he says all this
person.
stuff, and a lot of stuff they get out of the Bible too, because it's supposed to be like the
Yeah,
revelations, the
Revelation.
end of the
Yep.
world. But the movie doesn't really end. The world doesn't ever end. You
No.
just get just all the rich people on the Zeppelin die. I'm
Yep.
sure everybody's happy. Plus the dude. What do you think about all those guys sitting on those gun turrets left above everybody?
So So we are trying. Let me explain. So we are trying to do a new format going forward, right? There's questions that we would like to ask each of us, and we'll see how we respond.
No, don't overthink it. Just go ahead and ask the questions.
Oh, I loved it. I love those. I guess
Yeah, it's
are
pretty
they
cool,
Marines?
but the
They're armed
problem
forces, right? Yeah. They just
Yeah,
it's
they're
just Big
military,
Brother.
a military
Yeah,
group.
it's just Big Brother, basically.
Yeah, basically, we just go Big Brother again,
Yep.
telling you what to do.
So since we got to that point, right? The question that you posed is, I'm going to read this out. What's more important, your safety or your freedom? Are you willing to give up some of your rights so that the government can keep you safe? So that's what happened when you asked me what are those guys, right? So I thought about it the last few days that you posed this question, and my answer is like my safety. And the reason why I say my safety, right? And then I asked Heather this too, and she said like, why would you pay safety over freedom? Because I'm a dad. I have 4 boys, right? And then in the scene, John Lovitz, he got upset whatever the heck he's doing, right?
Yeah,
he
when
shot
he's
one
up
of the
off that
guys.
place, he can run over.
Yeah, so he shot one of the guys, right? And I'm like, so if I'm
Well,
in
he
that
didn't even ever.
crowd, if I'm in that crowd, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if he's a
yeah,
crazy shooter or what the heck is this guy's
yeah,
deal, but he was immediately taken down by one of those guys on the gun turn that you saw, and
yeah,
then threat was eliminated. Now, if we didn't
yeah.
have
You're
that,
right.
how would I know that he wasn't gonna shoot anybody else? What if it was my
Oh,
kid
you're
in
right.
that crowd?
You're right.
So that's
You're
why
right.
I
But here's
picked
the.
safety over freedom. Okay, now go
But
ahead.
here's the right. Once you give your rights away, you don't ever get them back.
Yeah, that's true too.
And what if somebody was in that crowd about to hurt your kid, and you could have stopped them, and you start to stop that person that's hurting your kid, and one of those shooters shoots you now because you are now the threat.
Okay, so
They can't tell. They don't know.
They can't tell because they just saw that because
They don't know.
I know.
They don't know.
So
that
what you mean?
You're going
Hold
to
on,
go save your son.
let me talk this out. So what you mean is like
Okay.
by the time the gun turn saw me, right, and all you can see is me beating up that guy instead of
Yep,
me. Yeah, because
you're
I
dead.
saw. Oh, I understand that because But then that's the price to pay, isn't it? But then if you were to tell me that, I know that was
No.
gonna no. If you were to tell me that, like if I knew that was gonna
Okay.
happen, right? If I knew that was gonna happen, I probably wouldn't attack the guy because I already know that those guys are out there. You understand what I'm saying?
But you have yeah, but you had that much faith in somebody sitting on a gun turret that's going to
It
stop you.
doesn't. I don't know, but it's
Yeah,
just.
police.
But
I
it's
mean,
the
we got
same
police
kind of.
all over this
It's not.
country.
It's the same
They
kind
don't
of faith
stop
that
crimes.
I give out to, people won't hurt my son. It's the same. It's the same kind of faith though. Like
So you're going to give
I
away
walk
your
out.
safety. So you're going to give away. So you're going to get rid of your rights to defend your kid, your family.
I haven't really thought about it that
You're
much.
no, you got to get. Oh, you got to give up your rights to defend your family now.
Then it must
Because
be.
once you give up one right, they want more rights.
Ooh.
I mean, think about that. In China,
So it
everybody's safe,
sounds like a
man.
country that I came from. It
Exactly.
sounds
Everybody
like a
there is
country
safe
that I came from.
because it is the country you came
Yeah.
from. And
Well, I'm
you
gonna tell
keep
you
giving
right
up.
now. I don't really
I'm gonna tell you right now,
yeah.
Russia's a very safe country
Because.
because you can't do anything.
Yeah, you can't do anything. But then let me
Yeah.
ask you this, because well, it's tough for you to answer, right? Because you never been to a place like that. But I think if we ask
I
somebody, oh, you know what,
wouldn't
this is really
go
good.
to a place like that.
When we go to a place like that, for those people, they're gonna see it as like, I don't see anything wrong because I've been raised this way my whole life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like to them, right? Like
Yeah.
they
Well,
already
that's
didn't
good.
have that freedom to start with. So there's
They
no.
know
It's
that.
really
Yeah, they know
hard.
they can't have
Yeah,
nothing else.
it's like it's really hard for us to like. Well, I have all my freedom. I could do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Except when we say that, we can't really do whatever we want, can we? We keep saying we have freedom, right? I don't have the freedom to off anybody that I want. I see it that way. Like, oh, you say I have freedom, right? I don't really have the freedom to do
Well,
anything. It's freedom with
you,
limitations.
you had a freedom to defend yourself.
Yeah, but then that's the freedom to defend myself, but I don't have a freedom to hit whoever I want without consequences.
You think, but see, you keep saying is you think that's where it's going to stop with the gun turret.
No. Oh, I don't think that's where
if
it's
you
going
let
to
them
be.
do that, then they're going to want more. Then they're going to want
Yeah.
more.
And
You
by
want people
they, you
watching
mean
you
the
all day?
government?
Do you want people? Do you want? Yeah. Do you want people? Yeah. That's who you just gave the right to defend you.
Yeah.
They got to watch everything you do. They got to make sure you don't cut yourself. They got to make sure you don't trip over the sidewalk now. They got to make sure you don't get hurt in the car. They're probably going to tell you can't drive cars anymore because you might get in a wreck and get killed.
Well, that's
Oh, you can't
well.
go eat in a
Let's.
restaurant.
Is there a
Somebody
way that
might
we
get
could
in there.
do this
Somebody
without
might get
going to
no.
the extreme? I mean, is there a way we
But
could
it's
talk about
gone.
this without going
But
to the extreme, though?
but it always goes to the extreme eventually.
Because if we go to the extreme, right, then I'm really good at this game. I'm really good at this game. You can ask Heather. Because like what you
Okay, well,
said, right? Not only, let's just say, you can't
wait.
drive anymore, right? Every day you live, you can only do certain things. Like every day I wake up, right? Okay, today is February 17th. I have 7 lists on my things to do today. I have to make sure I wake up, I go to work, I pay my taxes. But if I do anything out of these 7 things, right, then I'm out. And then my freedom is giving away. So, but in this particular world, I don't know if it does that because all they do is like to prevent. So, okay, I just thought of something. So this is exactly how Iron Man is in Civil War.
This is how Iron Man is. He
Yep.
wants to save people so much
And
that
then-
he starts taking everybody's rights away.
You know, it's really funny. I told you that I would, okay, right? But
He
I
kept Wanda locked
yeah,
up to protect
I
her.
stand firm on Captain America's side. So I just contradict myself from what I said earlier, like a couple of years ago. Like you're taking away my right to choose. And I
The
just
government,
told
all
you.
the gov-
But I think you're
it was
you're
never-
right. I just want to pick and choose. I want to be both
Yeah.
Republican and Democrat at the same time.
all Americans do.
Yep. Yep.
But the problem is there's a lot of people that make you want to pick.
I'm
but
so
the problem
happy
is
you said that. I'm very American.
each side wants to save you from yourself.
Each side want to save you from yourself.
You know?
True, yes.
Each side wants to save you from yourself. The Democrats want to save you from doing certain things so you'll be okay. The Republicans want to save you from certain things so you'll be okay. Some people want to keep you from swearing so you won't hurt somebody's feelings and get hurt.
Oh boy.
Some people want to keep you from drinking so you don't become an alcoholic and die. You know?
So okay, so
Some
from
people want to keep you from listening to rock and roll, so you don't decide to get it
to join the
to go
devil.
wild yeah, enjoy
Did
the
you
devil,
did you see my
or
did you see
or
my
start a
Facebook
riot.
post the other day when I was listening to
Well,
Rage
you
Against the
post a
Machine?
lot, so I don't know which one you're talking.
I was
I
listening
didn't
to
see that one.
I was
Then I
listening to
missed that
Rage
one.
Against the Machine. I was just listening to a 90s station off Spotify, and Rage Against the Machine came on. Okay, and the song is "Killing in the Name of," and I was just
Name of
singing it,
yeah.
and then Ryan was like, "Hey, Daddy, do you know this song?" I'm like, "Yeah, this song is pretty old." And I was like, "Probably 30 years old according to today." And he's like, I like this bit. I'm like, oh man, so he's paying attention, right? And I said like, well, wait until you get to
Well,
the
of
end.
course he's paying attention because you're being a fool.
I was like,
Ryan.
wait until you get to the end. So we didn't get to the end because I had to skip that song immediately because you know how that song ends, right? Rage Against the Machine. I'm like, okay, let's listen to the Spider-Man soundtrack.
Well, don't worry. Oh wait, he's gonna be looking on that on the internet. He's gonna be pulling up Rage
Not
Against the
yet.
Machine.
Hey, and
Oh,
you
he
want to know what
might.
machine? It was a printer.
Yeah, right. He already knows.
Okay, okay, so listen to this song. Or just going at it, singing this song. And it's like, oh, do you know this song?
Yeah,
I'm
but
going at it
see,
pretty hard.
but that's see that's the thing. It's
No,
like the
yeah.
government becoming your parent. It's just like the government. Because
Ooh,
the thing is,
that's the
well,
perfect
they
analogy.
got to they eventually got to step in and see because this is what they do in this movie. They keep saying the internet's the future, but they want to curtail what you do on the internet
Yeah. So
because
hey,
you certain things
I want to bring
because
this
they're
point
afraid
up
that if you
first.
see this, all right,
So
go
just
ahead.
based on your answer, you would obviously you choosing freedom over safety.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because we're Americans, we got
I,
spoiled by
I would
freedom.
rather I would rather well I would rather be in charge of my own safety than have somebody else tell me what to do. Because how do I know they're really looking out my best interests?
They're not. I
Because I
mean, like,
mean,
just you're
in the
speaking
end,
to a
I mean,
person that like that thinks like they're
it's
not looking out for my. It's like it's the
well,
HR, right? They're not looking out for you. They're looking out for the company,
yeah, they're looking
right?
out
It's
for
the
the
same
company,
thing.
which is the government. Because let me put it this way: if you get hurt or die, then they can't pay. Then you can't
Then
pay
you can pay
taxes. Then you
taxes.
can't pay taxes. They don't have
But
anything
then you know
else
what?
to make themselves look
There's
good to
there's
somebody
always
else.
somebody else though. You just can't mess with the dollar. That's all that is.
Yeah,
Their
but the problem
dollar.
is, I mean, the only way it's even like we already did this movie, I Robot.
Hmm.
How was all the robots going to save humans from themselves? Oh, keep them in the house
Yep.
24/7. Never let them get out. I
Ooh.
mean, that's what the government would eventually have to do to keep you safe
So I
because they can't
want
be
you.
everywhere. So you just got to stay in your house.
I
Oh,
want
yeah. And they got to take, if you're in your house, guess what? They got to take out away any sharp objects in your house so you can't stab yourself.
to protect you from yourself.
They got
The
to probably tie you to your chair so you can't get up on a ladder and jump down and kill
So
yourself or
basically, the
jump out the
robot can
window and
just
kill
do
yourself.
everything for you. Like, hey, you need to eat. I got you. You don't need to read because you're
Yeah.
gonna give you
Well,
like
actually, it would
crazy
be easier
thoughts.
for them it'd be easier for the robot just to put you in a hospital bed and tie an IV to you and turn the TV on. And you'll have to watch like Barney or something all day long.
The more that we have this conversation, the more I'm liking this movie. I know that you
And
were
here's
gonna
the
do that
thing
to
about
me,
it.
Shane.
Let me put this. Well, that's what I always do. But
Yep.
let's put this way. It could be like Terminator. Because see, after the robot saved you from yourself and you're laying there and you can't do nothing, the robot's going to realize if we didn't have any humans whatsoever, then they really couldn't harm themselves. So we just eradicate them.
Oh yeah, the Terminator.
Problem
So it almost
solved.
sounds like iRobot was the same thing, but it's like our iRobot at that moment they
Our
haven't
robot.
gotten to that point yet. Eventually they will.
Yeah, but see, this was just a part of the story. This wasn't the story. The real story was several other characters, but mainly it was Boxer Santori going through time, quantum mechanics, and him having two people, and they didn't. One of themselves got blown up, and they put him in a box, and they forgot to go check. Get Stifler, who touched hands with his other self, and the world didn't
Hey,
end. All they did was raise an ice cream truck up in the
so what do
air,
you think that
so that
happened? Wait,
kid,
so we talk about time travel, right? So your
yeah,
no, you haven't seen Time Cop when they say the same matter cannot occupy the same
no,
space at the same
I'm kind
time.
of happy. Everybody says that, but they even said that in Back to the Future. Remember,
Yeah, yeah, you
the whole
cannot go
time the
into
doctor's
the
like,
stuff.
"You can't see yourself," but then after they do, he's like, "Oh yeah, it doesn't mean nothing."
Yeah, the time paradox thing, right?
Why would there be a time paradox?
I don't know. It's just something that they make up like back then because it doesn't make sense. It's in the 80s. Remember? That's the
But
80s
but the
law
thing
of
in
making
this
movies.
but in this movie, it just looked good. Them telling all the biblical stuff and the guy floating up in the air and blowing up stuff because it was outlandish. It was silly, but it's also funny because the guy had a truck full of guns.
Yeah, he had a truck full of guns because
And by the
Highlander.
way, who was driving? And who was Highlander? Even though he gets beat up by Sherry O'Terry.
Which is also funny. He played Raiden in Mortal Kombat.
Yes, he did. Oh yeah, which we should do Mortal Kombat because it's about
Mortal Kombat
time
is a
for
pretty
that.
good movie, but we have to do both Street Fighter and
The
then Mortal
first one.
Kombat. Yeah, the first one. Yeah, the first
Okay,
one.
I'll do it.
I think
I'll do.
after
I'll
we
do Street.
watch this movie, right, we gotta put Mulholland Drive in our list somewhere this year because we did this,
Oh,
and I think like
yeah, remember the first this year we're only going to do sci-fi only sci-fi.
I
Now we're
know.
going to do.
You know what?
You
This
think
is
it's
sci-fi.
crazy?
This we consider sci-fi.
Oh, this is sci.
Yeah.
Oh, this is sci-fi. Yeah,
Yeah.
this has a sci-fi element. I mean, they don't understand how sci-fi works, but yeah. I mean, you know what the most sci-fi element in this thing was?
Time
It
travel.
was two cars having sex.
Oh my
Two
god!
cars having sex, dude. That is the most German thing
I
I've
even
ever
put
seen.
like, what the fuck is wrong with the cars having sex instead of using the F word? Like, the
It's
cars were
like,
just poking
yeah,
each
it's
other.
like, what is
Because
this?
when
It's
I
like,
saw that, I was
this
like,
is
what is happening here?
this just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Did you ever see the SNL skit where the guy was having sex with his Buick? There's a
No,
old
I have
skit.
not. It's
Is
a Buick, huh?
I mean, I don't think they say the name Buick, right? But it's just like I think it's a Buick. Like
Oh, okay.
the car is so good that you want to F it. It is. I
Yeah,
gotta
think I
find you
could
that skit. I gotta send that to you. It's like, what the heck is going on?
Well, it's fluid calmer. That's all I
Oh,
gotta say. Fluid
yeah,
calmer.
fluid karma. And they, I want to point out before we ran out of time, right? Which is not right now. My favorite thing of this movie is the nervous twitch that they gave the Rock's character, the Dwayne Johnson. Every time he's nervous,
I
right?
don't know.
He does this. It gives you the sense of where
Yeah,
like
I was.
he's not comfortable with this situation or he doesn't
Oh
know
yeah,
how
I
to
got
react.
that.
I like that because in a lot of
I
movies,
I wasn't a real
not a
big
lot of
fan of it.
character like not just because it's the Rock, right? I love it when movies they give those elements to characters in a movie because it's more personal
Yeah.
that way. You know, it's not something that we see other people have it. Like, hey, this guy have a nervous twitch because some actors can't do that. Like the eye thing. You know, some kind of people
Yeah.
have twitches. Like, I do like that they give him something that you can tell right away. Like, hey, so that way we are ready for the situation because he's trying to put us,
Yeah.
the audience, in his shoes. We're like,
Well,
oh,
you know,
doesn't know what to do.
yeah. Well, the funny thing is, doesn't get that twitch until he sees the murder.
Yeah, he got the twitch in the murder too. No, he did that before with the murder.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember him doing it.
I can't
Anyway,
remember the sequence of
I
this
don't think
movie
he-
because
I don't-
even though it's not all over
I don't
the
remember him
place.
breaking down. Yeah, I don't remember him breaking down before the
Yeah,
movie
I did like
because up until that point he thought he was pretty cool.
he thought he was pretty cool. I like the amnesia thing
Yeah,
because
they
it happened to. That's right. That was a big clue. It happened to Stifler and Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
They have both
plus
have
they're both
amnesia.
sitting there talking. Remember when they're sitting there eating and he's talking about him? Do you ever feel like you're this person doing this? He goes, I had a
Yes.
dream, I saw you, blah blah blah.
Yes,
That's part of the deal. But the thing is, they don't have. They think they have multiple personalities, but they don't. There's two of them.
That's two
so
of
they
them.
got split in half. It's like having a transporter accident,
Hey,
you
wait.
know,
before
making
you
two and making two Rikers, which I just
on
wanted
the
to put that
time
out.
travel
Star
thing,
Trek
they did
fans.
say like they went ahead 69 minutes into the future, right? It's only a
Something
short
like
amount
that.
of time they went into the future. So this question is not on here. And I know this question was also like this kind of time travel also happened to another movie that we saw called Primer. But in that movie, they go 6 hours
Yeah.
back in time so they could cheat on like stock markets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
but
I guess-
they keep coming.
So my
Well, they
question
would have
is,
to go to. They would have to go. Yeah, they would have to go back.
They'd
in
have to
order
go
cheat
back.
on the stock.
so this movie.
The problem with going backwards is.
Oh wait,
you're
I
gonna
don't
be
want
in
to
the
talk about
way.
that though. But this movie is
Okay.
going forward into the future. They went forward to the future, or did they went back?
Supposedly.
No, the one that went to the future died, right? It's the one that with the amnesia is the one that from the past. I need help with
Well,
this
that
one.
was his future selves.
So the
I don't remember.
the character we
I don't
saw
even
is the
think they
future
knew.
self or the past self? Because you said he
Well,
already wrote the
The
screenplay.
The Rock was the future self.
The future
He
self.
made it through.
Oh, because that's why he wrote the screenplay because he made it through and he saw everything that happened. Now I'm confused
Yeah,
at
I'm
this
guessing.
time. So you already know
I don't think
everything
it
that
was really.
happens. So how do
I
you go
don't
back in
think.
time?
I don't think the main part of the story was the time travel. So I don't think they really got into it because, like I said,
Yeah,
they're
I'm doing the Back to the Future
they
thing now.
explain it all that they explain it all they go is it's quantum mechanics,
Yeah,
lamb, it's quantum mechanics.
quantum
They didn't really get into
mechanics.
that. They didn't mess with it because that wasn't really part of the story.
Okay. All right.
Just all you had to know was there was a past self of them and there was a future self
Future
of them,
self.
and it
Yep. That's
just split
all
them
we need
into.
to know. Yep. So here's my question of the week. Like, how would you like to be the one to spy or monitor the people on a daily basis? Because we saw this in the movie, right? Or the
Yeah,
one being watched. Like, let's talk about if you
I
were
don't
the
want
one
either
to.
one of them.
You don't want either one
I
of
don't
them.
want
Okay.
either one of them. No, I don't want to be watched. I hate being watched. I hate when I go to a restaurant and it looks like somebody's sitting there looking at me. And I don't like. I'm not one of those people who goes to restaurants because I have friends like that. Maybe you're one of them.
Okay.
They want to people watch. They want to sit there and see what everybody's doing. I don't give a crap about the rest of the humans on this planet,
Oh,
so I don't really care what you're doing.
me and Elizabeth
I don't
did that
care.
before.
I
Remember
don't
that?
care if you're putting
Remember
hot
that?
sauce
What is
on
it?
your
That
food.
what do they call it? The
I don't
receptionist lady.
care.
I hung out with
Yeah,
her
I
a
know what
couple of
she is.
times, right? And she loved to people watch. I'm like, I never
And it's
noticed
just
that
weird.
before. Like, like she just want to know, like, hey, what's
Some
this
people
guy
do
doing? Yeah,
like to
some people
watch.
like to people
Lots of
watch.
people
Yeah.
like to people. I know. I got several of my coworkers I work with. They like to just stand there and watch what people are doing. I'm thinking
Oh.
I would rather go do something else because I
So
could care less
obviously,
what that
you
person's
don't like
doing.
being watched. So you're definitely
Who
not one of
does?
those
Do
that
you like being watched?
actually to me really doesn't matter because I already
I'm
know
a
like
I'm a big I'm a big mind your own business type
right.
of
But
person.
until you go into a Walmart, until you go to a Target, until you go to like a shopping store, like they have cameras
Yeah, I
everywhere.
know.
But then you said you
Well,
don't want to
that
be people
yeah,
watched,
well,
but do you go shopping at Walmart? Because now you just contradict yourself. Like if you don't like people watch,
yeah.
why are you shopping at these places? Every place that
I
tell
don't
you
go
that we
there. I
monitor,
don't. No,
but you say you
listen.
don't like
No,
being be
that's not.
watched.
Oh, I don't like to be watched. Yeah, I don't really like to be watched, but oh well.
But
I gotta buy something.
you probably being watched a lot that you don't even know. Even at your job, you're being
Yeah,
watched.
yeah.
Right?
Almost likely I am
There's
because they got
something that
cameras
you
everywhere.
really can't get away from,
No, you
right?
can't. That's right. And I just don't like it.
And
So what do you want me to do?
I think when I went to
Roll up in a
Hong
little
Kong,
ball
they
and
have
hide in the corner
cameras,
because I can't.
and I think was it Great Britain, right, or
I'm sure they
England?
got cameras,
England has
but that don't
those,
make
yeah,
me.
right,
Oh, everybody got cameras all over the state.
yeah. But that's the funny thing is I have cameras all over my house, right? You know, I'm telling you right now, I'm not watching anything. I'm not watching any one of them until
So you're
something
not sitting
happens.
down in your basement like. So you're not
Heck
sitting down in your
no.
basement like Bruce Wayne watching everybody in your house.
Or what's that movie Sliver with
Remember?
Will
No, I'm
Baldwin?
talking about.
Oh
Yeah, who
yeah.
cares about? I'm talking about
Oh, you talking
Batman.
about
Remember
Batman?
Batman?
Yeah,
He,
the
he
party.
has a party at his house, and then he goes sits in his basement and then watches everybody at the party in his house. I'm like, what creeper.
That's takes so much time. You know, takes
Yeah, it
so
does take
much
a lot of
time
time.
just to do that.
So you got to think a lot of these stores and stuff that's got cameras, they're watching. You're right, but they're not actually watching you until somebody has a problem or something goes on. They don't actually go sit down and review the tapes because
So
that
why
just
don't?
takes too
So
much
why
time.
isn't that thought process on every other scenario? Like let's just say the whole world, right? They have cameras everywhere. You're not really being constantly
Okay.
watched all the time. It's just when something
No, you're
goes
really
wrong.
not.
Yeah. And also, I
Pretty
want to point out
much.
that I feel like that's one flaw of this movie. That means your job is just to sit there and watch bathroom detail. Watch the people who are
Yeah,
going in and
yeah,
out of Target.
because in this movie, yeah, in this movie they do. They sit there all day to look for somebody so they can go shoot them or kill
If
them
they
or
need
do
to
something
shoot him
else
or
to.
kill him, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they're just watching people use the
I feel
bathroom.
like
I
at
mean,
the same time I like
but
that, but
somebody
then
can
at the
have a
same time
weapon.
I don't.
But see, the problem is with those things, like if they're watching you everything, they're like probably go, this is so and so. He did this in the bathroom. We're looking for something that they can use to blackmail you in the future or something else.
Yeah.
But I mean, nobody like. Do you like to be watched? You
Oh, I
like
have
people
no
just
idea.
watching to see what you're doing. You like your neighbors picking over your fence and seeing what you're doing.
Oh,
That's more
you
what
know
I was
what? For
talking about.
me, I guess I don't really care
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're kind of one of those
because I
people.
already
You
know
don't
the
care
thought, like what I said before, like at Walmart. I don't know if they're watching me all the time or whatever. So every time I'm in
because you
self
like.
checkout,
Well,
right? I
let
do
me put it
weird
this
things.
way.
Yeah. Okay.
I know because you like the attention, so we already know that you
I think
know.
sometimes I do like the
Sorry.
attention, unless it's like, oh, I want to get
Oh,
out
you
of here
do.
right
You
now.
like the attention. I've gone with you several places. I'm thinking, huh, we're getting watched because of you. People are looking at they're when I'm hanging out with you. I'm like, people aren't looking at me.
It's
They're
the
looking at you,
it's
and
the
they're thinking, what is up with that dude
it's
hanging
the
out with that
easiest
guy?
way to not get suspicious of stealing stuff. That's the whole reason why they have greeters, right? Like, so
Yeah.
they were like, oh shit, they recognize me or something. But like, pff, I don't care.
Well, not everybody has a greeter.
No, not everybody
Not
has a
everybody
greeter.
has a greeter.
Yeah. You know, let me think about this some more. Being watched, like, no, I guess I don't really care. I like even if you watch me or not, I'm still gonna do exactly what I'm planning to do anyways. It's not because like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
he's watching. Like, I'm not gonna do this. Like, oh, even
yeah,
Heather told me like,
yeah.
what are you doing? People are watching you. Great, let them watch. Take a picture. I don't care. Take video. We have camera phones now. It will last forever. Oh, that's really
Yeah.
good.
But I
So
guess you could say though, with what you said though, with all the places have
yeah,
cameras
the
and stuff,
cameras.
people just got used to it.
Yeah, and then like
People
those
just
are the
got
people
used
like,
to
oh,
it.
I don't want any
Like,
cameras everywhere, but like you go shopping, right? Like it's like they
but
think
but
it's
it does make
in
you
this
think twice
bubble.
about. This does make you think about twice. Like where I everywhere I go, I'm like, well, I sure don't want to be caught picking my butt. So
Oh, I pick my butt anyway. I don't care anymore.
I know you do. I know
Yeah.
you do. You
I
probably
don't
pick
like,
your nose too.
dude. This underwear stuck in my ass. Okay, I gotta pull it out. I'm not gonna feel comfortable. I don't care if you're not okay with it because you know what? I'm not the only person this happens to. Okay, I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I know. I
But
know. Well, all I got to say
it's
is,
just that we don't think
all I
about
got to
it.
say is, people watching videos of me going to the store. You know what they're thinking? There's no way this guy is human. He doesn't ever scratch his nose. He doesn't ever pick his butt. Doesn't scratch himself.
the
He
only
does
thing that I
nothing. He stands perfectly still.
the only thing that I don't really do in public is just pick my nose. But sometimes I blow my nose out in public, like without a tissue. I've done that before too. I
Nope.
don't care.
Nope. 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 Don't do that.
I
Don't do
blow that
that.
on the grass, man. Like, hey, I gotta get this out because I don't feel comfortable. Like, if you don't feel comfortable watching me, get the hell out of here. You can't control what I do. You can only control what you do, and that's
Oh,
why I teach the
well,
boys.
I'm thinking, Liam, people that watch those videos, they're probably happy with that kind of stuff. It's just like a lady eating all those stuff, and watching people use the restroom and have diarrhea. She's
Eating
just
Cheetos.
eating that food like it's eating that Cheetos or whatever, just like it was nothing.
It's just another day of work, okay? SSDD.
Yep.
So, let's see. I didn't even ask. I didn't even answer if I like to be spy or monitor people on a daily basis. Only if it's my job. I mean, I won't go out of my way for free to watch this. You have to pay me to do
Okay.
this job.
You
Okay.
sure?
I mean, like,
Are
hey,
you sure?
you
Are
you
you?
you're asking that. Yo, I'm sure if it's a job. Let's just say if it pays 100 grand, right? Then 8 hours a
Well,
day.
I
Yeah, I'll
mean,
do it.
well, I mean, yeah. I think though the question is we should be talking about it more in like in the movie sense than in the real life, because let's say you have that big skyscraper, Hitomi Tower or whatever it is. You're
Okay.
supposed to be sitting there watching the security tower because you don't want all those guys to show up, the German people show up and kill everybody in the tower on Christmas Eve. Okay, so yeah,
Could that,
if you're paid to sit there,
can we
yeah,
Southland
you
tell
sit there
that?
watch a.
Your scenario, like if we have that, could Die Hard be eliminated? Like they wouldn't even happen because somebody's watching.
That
Oh,
wouldn't
that's
happen
a
because those guys would have shot all them guys sooner. Well, I don't know. Those guys messed up the security cameras too.
yeah. I guess it depends on the situation.
I
If you're
mean,
able
let
to
me
shut
put it
that
this way:
down.
if you're gonna, let me put it this way, if you want to do something bad in this movie at some place, you're gonna have to take one of them guys out on the tower guns first.
Uh, oh, so you
I mean,
got to
those guys got to
eliminate
get off
that
them
threat.
guns because that's all you had to do is like find pilot Abilene
Yeah,
and spike his Budweiser because he's drinking Budweiser the
yeah.
whole
It's
movie.
such a
I'm like,
huge
what? He gets
advertisement for
down and
Budweiser.
gets drunk, he's on drugs, then he's gonna get up there and shoot somebody. I was like, what? That's a
Oh,
good mix right there.
hey. From
They're
this
like, why did
movie.
you shoot that dog? They'll be like, why did they shoot that dog? Oh, he was shooting at the fire hydrant, so I shot that dog. It's
So
like,
it's really
what are
based
you
on an
on?
individual. That's just basically based on an individual.
Well, human error always takes part in everything
Human
because
error. So it's a good.
everything's still.
It's a good point that you brought that up because like a lot of times, right, when people talk about like, hey, oh, this company is good, that company sucks, whatever, right? Let me tell you something. When I read stuff like that, you're not really talking about the company. You're talking about the individual that helped you, that works at that company. right? Like if you have a
Yeah.
good experience, like me and you, we probably have great
Yeah.
customer service. But then people was like, "Oh, this Lowe's is really nice. The guys, the people really know their stuff." Yeah, because you're talking to me or Shane. Now, if you have this, you go to a different Lowe's, the people are there just like, "Oh, I can't believe I'm at work today." Now you're not gonna have a good experience. But you say Lowe's instead of the same individual.
Yeah. 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 Only the people working there are gonna know if the company's any good or not,
Yeah, exactly. So
based on how they're treated.
based on this, I don't want the answer to be. I haven't answered the. Did I? No, I answered it because it's a job thing. Oh, do I
Yeah, you
mind being
said
watched?
you
I
would.
answered that too. But let me ask you
Yeah,
something.
you did.
So one of the
Okay.
podcasts, right, that I listened to, the people who created West versus Blue, they had it. They from the one of their podcasts, they made a game called $1,000,000. But let me ask you this: you get $1,000,000, but you have to do a certain
Okay.
task. You get $1,000,000, right? You get $1,000,000, but for a whole year, every time you go poop, right, that stuff gets streamed live on YouTube. Would you do it for $1,000,000?
For $1 million.
Yep, but for a
That
whole,
somebody's got
you know
people
what?
get the
Let's even a
people get.
year, a month for your life, right? We'll give you $1,000,000, Shane. But 1 month of this, every time you go to the bathroom, it's being streamed live on YouTube. Would you do it?
Hmm. It's a good question.
That's a good, but you only have to do it for a month. Then you get $1,000,000. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? I struggle
I'm gonna
myself
say
with that
no.
one. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say no. What
Huh?
will you say?
Oh, I would say yes. I'll do it for a whole year because you know why? After that first few days, right? You're gonna get used to it. Then I'm like, oh, I get $1,000,000 after this. There's only 27 more days left. Because after the first,
Hmm.
it's because the first uncomfortableness that you get with that thought, right? But then you forget, like, after a while, people want to see something else. They're not gonna keep you watching you
Yeah.
every single day, right? I'm only here for the first
Yeah, the
showing,
sad thing
and
is,
that's it.
sad thing is that's gonna be around forever.
That's great. I got $1,000,000 out of it. What did you get? Nothing, and you're just watching me take a poop.
Well, you don't have to. I don't have to.
But
That's a
see,
good
that's why I'm
point,
okay with
though.
that.
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
good point, though. I mean,
I think
I
no.
mean, if
When you say that's a good point, right? People think past that. They think about the initial. That's all it is.
oh, I'm not thinking about initial. I'm thinking about
The whole
all
long
the
term
videos gonna be
goal.
out there after them. Like, yeah, everybody's going, hey, how you pooping today?
Hey man,
How you doing? Hey, I know you from somewhere.
they just have to
Go,
make sure my
yeah,
diet
well,
is good for that month. I don't be like, oh.
I would if I had to do it for a month, I'd eat stuff to give me diarrhea. That way, people could go,
Okay, so
yeah, because I'm gonna make a mess.
I
I'm gonna
thought
earn
this.
my money.
I thought of this question while we were talking about it because I was confused on, I don't know, quantum mechanics or whatever the
Okay,
heck it is. Would
who
you,
is it?
if you are able to, would you travel back 6 hours at a time if you can?
Would I go back?
Just one time, 6 hours. Let's just say no complication, right? No timeline change. You stay in your own timeline. You don't create branches. If you were just to go back 6 hours, would you?
I would I go? I can go back 6 hours, and can I shoot back forward, or just go 6 hours and I gotta live
Sure,
that
you
six
can shoot
hours
back
out
forward.
again?
Why the heck not?
Actually, this is a stupid question. You know what? Well, it's not a stupid question. It's a good question. I shouldn't say that. It's stupid that I've been thinking about because the answer is yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, man. If I can go back 6 hours, yeah, I'll go back
And
6
then
hours.
come
Go
back
back
to that
6 hours
time that you
now.
left. Just like in
Well, I
Avengers
mean, I get
Endgame.
to live that. No, I'm gonna go back 6 hours and go live out that whole 6 hours back to
Oh,
that
again.
point.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, yeah. You could do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I could go back 6 hours and then go all the way to that point, yes, I would do that.
Oh.
Because think about it. Because one day you might have a bad day, or you might interact with somebody
Thank
bad.
you. Yes.
I would change it. I would be having the time of my life. People be wondering why I'm such a happy person. I'd be like, that's because I know what you're gonna do. I know what you're thinking.
And my answer
Everything
would be
would be
yes,
great.
obviously. For the same reason, like if I was having a bad day,
Yeah,
I want to go and like, hey,
yeah.
if I,
That's what I'm saying. I don't even have to.
especially on the day, like if I cut my finger, I'll be like, why did I do that? Then I would go back, like, so I don't have
Yep.
that feeling. Yep.
You're not gonna cut yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna make everybody happy.
Good.
You're gonna be
Stop.
able to do stuff
Let's
before they tell you, so they're gonna think you're a genius.
let's do the
I will
opposite
be
of
the
that.
greatest person on earth.
Would you go 6 hours forward?
Shoot, just once.
Just once.
Oh yeah,
But you could also
I
go
could already
back.
tell you that.
You could also go back to
Let
the
me
time
put it
that you
this way.
left.
basically, if you say Shane, can you
Shane
time
can time
travel?
travel.
It's the answer is almost always going to be yes.
Wow, that's very interesting. You know what? For me too.
Shane, do you want to go
Like,
forward like a year?
but I would only do it
Yes,
if I
I
could
do.
come back to the time that I left. Like, I need that time travel GPS thing.
I could just go forward a year and be happy with that.
Without coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, explain.
Well, I'm
I'm
gonna
trying to
just
think
be a
about the
year in the
positive.
future.
Like, it's always great to go
And that's
back.
well. Here's the positive.
Okay.
Put your money in the bank and shoot a year forward. Boom! You just saved a bunch of money. It's not good for you. It's good for me.
And you're also a year younger than everybody.
Yeah. Now I do it several years at a time. I have no connections. Well, see, it won't work for you though. Here's the problem. Why? I'll tell
Yeah.
you why it won't work for
It won't
you.
work for me because I have
You have a
kids.
family.
Yep.
Exactly. You'll miss all that. Why would you want to miss all that?
But you have parents, though. What if with that year
Yeah.
that you
So,
traveled, that's when they passed away?
oh, that would suck. But
So
hey,
you
I
had.
got money in the bank.
You know what
I
I
mean,
would do?
there's trade off. There's always trade offs. There's always trade offs.
I guess if I was going to go 6 hours, right, I would probably get the lottery tickets numbers and then go back.
The way, the way I
But then
say
it
it,
worked
the
both
way I
ways,
say
though.
it though, but
Going
it's a
back.
positive for a lot of people because here's the problem. When I go into the future, I mean, that's a year that nobody has to put up with me. So I guess everything's a win-win for everybody.
But that's your
I
opinion, though. You think
I
people are putting up
I
with you, they
skipped a
might not
year.
be.
Well, some people may be sad. I don't know. I
You know
doubt
what?
anybody's
You
gonna
know it's
miss me in a
really
year.
messed up. You go forward a year, right? And then people just thought you were missing the whole year, and then you just came back like, what the hell happened?
Oh, I know that would be so. That means there'd be a lot of people so happy to see me. I'd be like, yay! I got more money in the bank account. Didn't cost me a thing. I'm a year younger.
You think you would get more
That's why
money
when
in the
somebody
bank
said,
account?
that's why if that's well, if you put money in the bank account, I mean, I'm not taking any money out. It's in my savings account, right? So getting that interest, you're not getting a lot.
You're not getting a
And
lot
the
of
problem is
interest.
though, if you're not taking any money out of that bank account in a year, no money coming out of that bank account, you're doing good.
I guess you're doing
Plus
okay.
you got stocks, you're gonna do fine when you come out because like you don't have to buy food, you don't have groceries, you don't have to drive anywhere, so you don't have to buy gasoline, which kind of costs a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
You don't have to use any electricity, so you're not paying any bills. I mean, there's no bills for you to pay because you're not there. Now,
so
you
that
probably
means
don't want to
before
do it
you
if you're
time travel, you gotta cancel all that stuff out first. Otherwise, you're gonna
no,
keep
you do.
trying to do.
You
Yeah.
are right. You do got
Yeah.
to cancel stuff, and you don't want to live in an apartment because, boy, you are evicted by the time you get back.
You know what? Wait, your point earlier was that I wouldn't do it because I have family, right? But then if I could come back to that time, yeah, I would totally do it.
Oh, if you come back to the time, but I'm saying you can't. I'm saying you can't. You can just go forward, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Because we
Yeah.
already know the way time really works is you can always go forward, but you can't ever come
You can
back.
come back. That's why you can go back, but you can come forward. But yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like somebody
No,
said,
I'm
"Hey,
saying this is the
it's like
hypothetical
NASA,
anyway.
it's like NASA telling me, "Hey, Shane, we're going to send you all the way out to Alpha Centauri, and when you come back, everybody's going to be long gone, but you'll come back. You'll be the same age." I'll be like, "Okay, cool." I'll be like, I'll just go look up your kin, okay?
So
I'll go. I knew your great grandfather.
we're
Boy, he was
we're
a
we're getting into interstellar territory right
troublemaker.
here.
Yeah, he was a troublemaker. I'll tell you this urinal story. I'll tell your great grandfather the urinal story about where
Oh.
you try to shake my hand in front of everybody and all the people freaked out and ran away. It's like, who's this Chinese guy? Doesn't he know how we do things in America?
Oh, that was very good. You know, I love talking about time travel, but only with the
Who
GPS.
doesn't? It's so awesome. Oh, I mean, if you gotta have a GPS, you're just not gonna make it, man. A GPS, come on.
Yeah, of course. So I
You
could
don't
come
need
back in
it.
a point of time that
Yeah, because
whatever.
that's quantum mechanics right
That's
there.
quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics. You know, it's really
Yeah,
cool that the
you sure it's not quantum entanglement?
I don't know, but
Okay.
the Baron is that older guy that plays a
Yeah, he's the
scientist,
old
right?
guy. He is the
So
old
he's still
scientist
on TV
that
on
that
Young Sheldon.
oh, is he?
Yeah.
Who did he play on Young Sheldon?
He plays the Professor Sturgis.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the other actor's supposed to be on Young Sheldon too. The actor that was the bad guy at the guy at the end, or the guy that was keeping Santanos or Santos at his house.
Oh, Will Sasso.
Yeah, Will Satt, he's on there.
Yeah, he's on there.
Yeah, see, he was that
Oh,
because
that's
remember at
right.
the
He
end,
plays the
him and
dad.
yeah, well, at
Yes.
the end of that, him and the Mohawk guy, remember they shoot up the
Yeah, they shoot up
shoot.
the
Yeah,
U.S.
I did,
ident.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, U.S.
And
ident,
we
whatever
forgot
it
to talk
is.
about that Chinese lady, Bei Ling or whatever.
Yeah, Bailing,
Yeah,
she's in there because remember she's the girlfriend of the
the
Baron.
Baron. This movie is really weird.
It's supposed to be.
I was wondering, like, this might be the last time I'll ever watch this movie
Really?
because, like, because if we didn't do this, right, I'm not. Oh, you know what? I might. I won't say watch it. I'll probably listen to it in the
Yeah.
background because the soundtrack.
The only reason I probably want to watch it again is because we got a list of movies to watch, and I don't watch a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first saw the movie, I watched it quite a few times.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I
I
remember
guess
having this
I
movie.
remember I didn't think that much of it, but I didn't think it was bad either. You know, it was just something to
Hey,
watch.
the only reason why
It's
I watched this movie because of Donnie Darko. That was
there's
really
a
it.
lot. That's right. There's a reason a lot of people watch it. But the thing, like I was saying though, I mean, you watch a lot of stuff on TV anyways that doesn't really have a story or anything to it anyway. So
You're
this is
right.
the same thing with a good soundtrack.
It almost sounds like an episode of Seinfeld. Like
Yeah.
nothing really happens, nothing really get resolved. We
Well,
just
I mean, it did
that's
have a
it.
story. I mean, of course, I mean, Stifler becomes the new main guy in the new post-apocalyptic world.
Stifler. So we could
Him,
Stifler is the main character of this movie, not Dwayne Johnson.
no, I think they're both the main character, but the problem is they said when they blows him up, he replaces him. You know, he's the everyman now. He's the star. He's the movie star of this new world. Because the movie stars, you know, they're the big thing, and then they kill all the movie stars and all the leaders, and then of course you have your regular guy that
The people.
actually that feels bad that he accidentally hurt his friend who's pilot what you call it pilot Alvin.
Pilot
He
Applin.
actually it was an accident. He didn't even forgive himself, and then at the end he's like, "Oh, I forgive myself."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we're just every and then there's a big old party, and it's all just these regular people, and they could throw all the guns away because they got rid of all the senators and the president people. They really didn't do nothing, but that's what it looks like.
So something happens when nothing happens at the same time.
Yeah,
That's what
well,
this. I set this line back when I saw this movie. Like something happens, but nothing
but I
really
guess
happens.
if they were to tell another story, though, it would be Stifler would be the main character now because he is now the actor, the big star that everybody wants to pay attention to. Because got to think, Dwayne Johnson is in this movie. He is supposed to be this worldwide movie star that everybody knows,
Yeah.
and they've been trying to hide that he's having an affair with Krista now.
Yep.
So
Boxers
he's
and
these
tails.
these big people, and the big people because all those other people want to be the president of the United States and the vice president, all those. So that's all everybody wanted. The Baron wants to be the guy that's controlling everything. Well, they blow up the airship and they wipe all those people out, and then you just have the regular people.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a revolution.
Revolution.
Because remember, there was a revolution going on in the street.
Yeah, yeah. About
so
the
they had a revolution.
Mosses,
Yeah, so they had a
the fascists.
revolution. So in a way, they did close down U.S. Den.
That's right.
And then all the people get to do whatever they want again because they get to go put Mohawks like that Mohawk guy and all those other guys. They get to go shoot people and do drugs.
I forgot to say that I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. I always do.
I wonder why you didn't say that because you always tell me about that.
I always love
this
Sarah
movie.
Michelle
I watched
Gellar.
the whole. We've talked this whole deal, and you finally.
Yep,
Sarah
I
Michelle
finally
Gellar.
mentioned it. I don't know why, because like
I don't know why, because you never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer ever.
Yeah, I had never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And you still have it.
And like,
so what's your favorite Sarah Michelle Gellar movie?
Probably Cool Intentions.
Okay, cool, because that's what I would say too.
Yeah, Cool Intentions.
Cruel Intentions was the best. I'm surprised we hadn't done that movie.
It's not really sci-fi. It's like
it's not really our style.
It's almost like a thriller kind of thing. But
that's something everybody from my generation watched.
Cool Intentions. Yeah,
hundreds of times.
And that's really funny. I really like Ryan Phillips. What's his name? Like I always Ryan Phillippe. He's a good actor. Yeah. He's not in a lot of stuff. But he's a really good actor.
He's a good actor. That matter of fact, you like. I mean, you're probably like me. You liked all the characters of that movie.
Oh, I do. It's really good.
Because you're either going to say, because that's the thing, she hasn't done that many movies, so you're either going to say
that.
No,
Sarah Michelle haven't done. She was in Scream 2. She was in.
But
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I was going to say. You're either going to say this movie or I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I gotta look. Like she's got to be in more movies that we've seen her in, right?
Oh, she's been in tons of movies. It's just not stuff we watch.
Oh, she was in Scooby Doo.
Yeah, not stuff we watch.
Yes, I did watch Scooby Doo because of Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay, but you didn't watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so that doesn't make any sense.
is on WB, right? I never seen.
Was
Uh,
was.
can't believe it.
Sure you
Even
can go.
Eric said that's good.
I'm sure you can go watch it now.
Oh, she was in The Grudge. I seen that.
I didn't see the. I didn't really see that much. I haven't seen that much
And
stuff
she
she's
was
in.
April O'Neil in TMNT, but it's just an animation though. So
Oh
I
really?
did see that
Oh, I
too.
didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Oh, she
Huh.
was in Clerks 3. Yeah, you know she's not in too much stuff. She have a good resume, but it looks like she's only been in 20 something movies.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah. She was in Star Trek? No, hold on. Oh, I read that wrong. I was
yeah.
just
So
scrolling
say,
too fast.
yeah. So say what? I didn't see her in Star Trek.
Yeah, I do like
Okay,
Sarah
but
Michelle Gellar a
anyways,
lot.
this show's not about Sarah Michelle Gellar, so let's move on.
But she's in a lot. Like she's in this movie a lot because she's like the
Yeah, because she's one of the main
supporting.
actresses in here.
Yeah, why not? Who is the main actress in this movie? It's her, right?
Yeah, I would say she was more than. Well, I don't know because everybody gets equal parts. Sherry Taylor has a big role. The lady that's considering herself Deep Throat has a big role.
Oh,
There's a
I
lot,
forgot
actually, a
about that
lot of
lady.
because you can't really even say Dwayne Johnson was the main actor of this movie.
No, it's more Sean William Scott. It's her. It's his
Yeah,
character that's more interesting.
he's the one. Yeah, he's the more
It
interesting one.
seems like The Rock is the
But he's not.
MacGuffin.
But he's not even in the. He's not even in. Stifler's not even in this movie as much as The Rock. The
No,
Rock's
he's
in here
not.
quite
Yeah,
a bit,
yeah. He
but
carries
he's
the movie
still.
over.
But it's not really. He's not the main
So this
character.
would be. Yeah, he's not the main character because the main character, like, he dies in this movie.
Yeah. Well, because you have a lot of main characters. You got a lot of stories going. And of course, you think it's Pilot Avon at first because he's the guy talking, but he has no bearing in this movie whatsoever.
Yeah,
He's
he's
just the
just the
narrator.
narrator.
He just shows up in the middle of the movie to move the story along.
Yep, to move the story along.
A lot of these people just move the story along. Actually, most of the actors will move the story along because in a way, The Rock's move the story along to the end and hands it over to somebody else. But I would say he's more the main actor. I mean, the more character since he has more screen time.
Yeah, I could tell how young he looks in this movie too.
Oh yeah,
like,
he looks
compared to
way young.
now, like man, but he's bigger though. He's like,
Yeah, because I guess he ages different than everybody else. He just gets bigger and bigger, and not
yeah.
like bigger or big. He gets like muscular big.
He looks like he should be in Gears of War.
He's thinking, huh? When I did this movie, I could get in a Ferrari. When I did Fast and Furious,
I
couldn't
can't
fit
get
in a
into
Ferrari
Ferrari.
no more.
I just sit in the Hummer. I'm like, hey, what about this Chrysler 300? No.
Sorry.
He's a big dude. It's kind of like Yao Ming is not going to buy a Civic, right? Like Shaq. Shaq is not sitting inside a Civic. Like, you would have to remove all the seats. So that way, like, even the door frame, like, just cut that off so he can fit inside.
But I don't think Shaq was. I don't think Shaq is civic material. Anyways. It's more,
so let's just say he's not a famous basketball star, right? Like, actually, there's a lot of big guys in Asia. It's like, what cars are they sitting? Like, do they ride a regular sized bike?
they probably just walk.
They have to walk like
Sorry.
I can't get into this car.
Well, especially if it's in China, they're probably like, "You shouldn't have got so big." Okay. I don't know what your parents. I don't know if your parents are cheating the government to feed you this much food to make you that big, but something's wrong. Okay.
So the thing about Yao Ming
Parents,
is like,
they'd be like, Yao Ming. His parents probably went to jail. They're like, "You're feeding him too much."
I don't know if this
Most
is
of the
true,
other people in China are starving.
but like they trying to get the tallest basketball player like for men and women to mate so they could get a big human and that's the result is Yao Ming. But I don't know how true that is. But he's a big dude.
It's possible.
I mean, like
somebody needs to tell them genetics don't really work that way.
The Rock is 6'5", I think, or 6'4", and then Yao Ming is like 7'6". Like, dude, it's a foot and a few more inches taller than Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And when it's so funny when I think I still see some pictures like the younger generation, like my sons, they know how big Shaq is, but they never seen Yao Ming. If you show him a picture of Yao Ming standing next to Shaq, or like, wow, Shaq is only a couple inches shorter, like 2 inches shorter, but he looks so small compared to Yao Ming. Like, what is going on here?
Shaq is pretty big.
Shaq is pretty big, and then you see Yao Ming next to him, like, whoa.
You'd almost have to weld 2 Honda Civics together. You probably have to weld 4 Honda Civics together.
just to fit a big dude.
And then you'd have to make some kind of weird roof on the top.
It has to be convertible.
Well, yeah.
It has to be.
I think all his cars. Hey, he fits in that Corvette with the General, though.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I think we could call it up right now.
We better, because now we're just talking about idiotic stuff.
So until next time, I'm a pimp, and pimps don't commit suicide. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Tensai Reviews. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next one.